Hey friend, welcome back. I know I have been gone for quite some time and I just wanted to do a little catch-up video and make some breakfast while I explain where I've been. Last year around September we decided that we wanted to move back to Georgia, and the reason being is we have all of our family here, my husband's job is here, our grandchildren are here, and I just didn't want to be away from all of that any longer. Loved our time in Florida, however Georgia is home, and so we moved into our new house exactly 2 weeks before Christmas, and so it has been quite a ride, quite the roller coaster ride I should even say, of just trying to get to this point, to be able to be closer to our family, our friends, and everything that we've got going on. We have been just doing our best, as you can only imagine if you have moved before, of getting settled in, trying to get everything decorated, everything unpacked. We're still not unpacked. It's going to take months just because we do have a basement, so a lot of things that need to be for storage are downstairs, and I haven't even touched those boxes. It is so cold right now, I don't even want to go into the basement. But what I've also been doing is just been doing the best we can with food. You know, a lot of convenience things, going out to eat, just because it's that season of life right now where it's been super hectic. But I would like to kind of stop doing as many convenient foods and getting back to making things from scratch. And so one of the biggest things that I really want to do is breakfast, to get that started. I have to eat breakfast. I used to not have to do that, but as I've gotten older, I've got to eat breakfast. And because of that, I like things that are easy, not necessarily like eating toast. That never holds me over, but I do want something that is going to be very filling, but also quick. I can pull out of the refrigerator freezer, warm it up if needed, and be ready to go for breakfast. So I'm going to take you guys along with me as I start to prepare breakfast for our household to put in the refrigerator, put it in the freezer. And so the first thing I'm going to be making is an oatmeal bake, and we're going to do 2 different flavors today, so let's get started on that. And again, this won't be a super long video this time. I'm just kind of getting my feet wet again of being in front of the camera, which always makes me extremely nervous. I don't know why. I'm just not one who likes to be center of attention. Go figure, as I'm trying to create a YouTube channel. But that's just also because I have a lot of friends and family who ask questions, ask for recipes and things like that. So I thought, while I do it for them, take you guys along with me and hopefully enjoy it. So let's get cooking, because I want to get this in the oven and get this done today. So okay, so what I'm going to put into my large stainless steel bowl is 10 eggs. And I know that seems like a lot, but this actually makes quite a bit of baked oatmeal. Normally you're going to put this in a like 11 by 13 or 9 by 13 pan, just kind of whatever you have. I'm going to do a little bit smaller dishes because I want to do 2 different flavors. So what I'm also adding is 2 cups of milk. Now, the original recipe I found, I've always tweaked it, so what I'll do is I'll make sure that I link the true original recipe, but then I'll also put the recipe of how I've tweaked it to my liking, just so you guys can see both. So what I'm going to do is just give these a quick whisk. Okay, so now that all of that has come together, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and add in 1 teaspoon of salt. Ooh, sorry, that was really loud. Now, the original recipe calls for brown sugar because it's an apple cinnamon bake. I am going to be doing an apple butter one, and then I'm also going to be doing blueberry lemon. Now these are both things that we have made in past videos, and I'll link them down below so you guys can check that out. But I thought it'd be a great way to flavor it and use up what I already have. So we're going to set that aside. Now to this, because the original one calls for a 1/4 cup of brown sugar, I don't want to add brown sugar to my blueberry lemon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just add in regular sugar, and I'm just going to do a 1/4 cup still. I have just a 1/8 cup in my hand. I had thought about splitting it, but I decided just to put it all in to one. That way I don't have to create such a mess when I am mixing everything up when I'm adding in the other additional flavors. So just going to give this a quick stir, and then we're going to add in the oatmeal. Now this recipe originally called for 2 cups of applesauce because again it was an apple cinnamon bake oatmeal. I'm going to leave that out just because half is going to get apple butter, half is going to get blackberry jam, and I feel like that's going to, I think I said, oh my goodness gracious. Let's remove that. Okay, I believe I said blueberry lemon. It's actually blackberry. I apologize. I had thought about doing the blueberry lemon, but decided to do blackberry instead. So to this bowl, we're going to go ahead and add our oats. And I am going to add in 6 cups of oats. Now that is more than the original recipe calls for. Again, this is just a personal preference. I wanted it a bit more oatmeal-like and not eggy-like. The eggs will help bind everything together, but I didn't want so much like egg texture into the baked oatmeal. So just a personal preference, so you can try it either way. You just want to get all your oats down into the liquid mixture. And again, this is as far as I'm going to take this part, and then we're going to divide it into our 2 pans. Okay, let me just move some of this out of the way here. Okay, so the one thing I like about these glass dishes is they are great for going straight into the freezer, and then also for going straight from the freezer into the oven if needed. These are great. I will link these down below. Now, you do have to remove the lids before putting into the oven clearly, but I feel like I need to save that just because I don't want anybody to think that the lids are oven safe. They are a hard plastic, but they do, what's nice about these is these do not shatter. So you can, I've used these many times in the past where I've made freezer meals and they can just go straight from the freezer into the oven with no problem. So I've got my 2 dishes. I am going to give it a quick spray just to make sure that nothing sticks. And we are going to bake these, and then 1 pan will go into the freezer, and then 1 will stay out for breakfast. So all I'm going to do is take my oat mixture and divide it the best I can evenly between the 2 pans. Feel like this one might have a bit more oats. It absolutely does. Okay, so again, you just eyeball it. You don't have to split these into 2 flavors. I am doing that just to change them up a little bit, just to try them out and see. I've done the apple cinnamon one in the past and using apple pie filling. It was fantastic. And so this is just a little something different. So got a few more. All right, that is close enough. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to put the blackberry one in the one that's maybe not, ooh, that is really thick jam. Drop it in there. Probably only going to use about half of this jar, so I may need to make some biscuits to use up the rest of the blackberry jam, but let's see what happens here. And I'm just going to mix it in the pan. I'm not going to worry about like dirtying another bowl or anything like that. I do think I want to put in a bit more actually. I might just go ahead and put in this whole jar, so I'm not going to worry about like rinsing off the spoon because I'm not going to be using it, because I'm going to be actually using, excuse me, all of the jam. And what I like to do too with my oatmeal, once it's baked and then I go to heat it up in the morning to enjoy it, I like to actually take a little bit of heavy cream and put it over the top. Now, if you are concerned about the sugar, you sweeten this with honey, you can sweeten it with maple syrup, or if you don't do any sugar, you could leave it out and you could just do, you know, fresh apples and cinnamon. It's totally up to you. So I think that's good right there. Now we're gonna do the same with the apple butter. Now I had already popped these open ahead of time. This is homemade apple butter that I've made. I'm just gonna go ahead and add all of it in here since that's what we did with the blackberry. Now you could put in your apples. I actually like to take fresh apples once my oatmeal is heated up, and I like to slice and add the apples to the oatmeal on top once it's warmed up. I like the texture of the cold crisp apple against the hot oatmeal. It's just a preference, but you can add it in. So I'm not going to do that, which is why I am mixing in the apple butter to infuse some of that wonderful flavor, but then I can top it with fresh apples when I'm done. Okay, and that is it. Super, super simple to throw together. And now we're just gonna pop them in a 350-degree oven, and we're gonna set the timer for 35 minutes and then check it, and then just kind of see. Every oven's a little different. This is a brand new oven for us, and so we had to have one installed when we bought the house. And so I think we'll just check it and see at 35 minutes, and then I will let you guys know when I pull it out if it was 35 to 45. Just know every oven is a little different. So let's get these in the oven. Okay, those are in. So I will see you guys back as soon as they're done. Okay, the timer is about to go off, and it's just been 35 minutes, and I'm gonna go ahead and turn it off now. But I do believe that because I split it into two, 35 minutes is going to be enough time, but let's find out for sure. I'm gonna go ahead and pull one out. Okay, so that is the blackberry one. And then this is the apple butter one. Now, before I turn off the oven, I want to go ahead and get a cake. I had my cake tester. What did I do? Hold on. Well, sorry, I had it in my hand. Okay, I have totally, oh, I found it. I set it, the blackberry one on top of it. Oops, it got really hot really fast. Okay, so I'm just gonna take my tester and stick it in the center. And it comes out clean. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but it comes out clean on both of them. So for 35 minutes is great for splitting it into two. Now, if you want to just do one big one in a 9x13 pan, then you can absolutely just do it for 45 minutes. I think that would be perfect. So again, just want to show you guys real quick there. Sorry, it's really hot. There is the blackberry. It smells really good. And then of course, then the apple butter again, which, oh, smells really, really good. So I'm gonna let these cool for just about 15 minutes or so, and then I'm going to take a little sample and try them both, just because I have done this before, but I've done this with apple pie filling, which was fantastic, but I haven't done it with the blackberry or the apple butter before, so I want to just taste them, make sure that I'm sure they're going to be perfectly fine, but I just want to see how they are. So I will see you guys back in just a moment. Okay, it's been about 15 minutes. They're still really warm, but we're going to go ahead and cut into them and taste them. Okay, so again, this is the apple butter one. I'm just going to take a small little corner out. And as you guys can see, that's how it baked up. Now, I feel like if without the 2 cups of added extra oats, it might be a bit more eggy, but this is how I prefer it. So again, you can do either one how you want it. And then same thing with the blackberry. Okay, focus here. Okay, so now I'm going to try it and see how they turned out, see if they need more flavor or enough. And again, if for any reason they don't, you could always top more apple butter on top, more blackberry jam on top, however you want to do it. The apple butter flavor definitely comes through. It's nice and it's subtle, which I think is good. What you can do if you really want to amp it up is if you have more apple butter, excuse me, put it on top. You can also take fresh apples, slice them, a little bit of cinnamon on here, however you want to enhance the flavor. And let's check the blackberry. I think the same thing. The blackberry is there, but it's very subtle, which I'm actually okay with, just because what it'll do is it'll allow me to, if I have some, which I do in the house, fresh raspberries, I can get the blackberry, warm it up, pour heavy cream over it, and then put some raspberries on top. And not a ton of heavy cream, but just enough to give it that kind of creamy flavor. When I was a kid, we always had the oatmeal, which is like the peaches and cream, strawberry and cream one, and so I always kind of like that. This is the adult version. If you make this and just put a little bit of fresh heavy cream over it and then some fresh berries, so it'll go really well. So they both are very, very good. Don't hear me say that they're not, because it's more of a subtle flavor. But again, that's what I prefer, because then that allows me to add a few extra things to it without it having any conflict in the flavor. So anyways, thank you guys so much for joining me. I know I haven't gone for a very long time, but I am now back. This is a short video. I was going to make another breakfast item until I realized I didn't have something on my list. So I will just save that for another video. And I will see you guys in the next one. Until then, have a great day. Bye.